Hello, my name is Brittany Baston, and this is the final video project presentation for Sociology of Happiness taught by Professor Bernadette Barton. For the first part of this assignment, I would like to talk about what made me take this class in the first place, just briefly. Everyone had been going through a really hard time. A lot of people in my life, a lot of people I knew personally, just like acquaintances, people I knew like through the internet and social media, were going through a really difficult year because of the COVID pandemic. And so my counselor had suggested to me that I take this class because she knew kind of like what I was going through with, the death of my father. He died from COVID, and what a profound impact that had on me when I was trying to, continue my education. And I had finally gone back to school after so many years. And so there was that transition of like, just I wanted to be in as good of a mindset as I possibly could going forward despite everything. Like, just try to remain optimistic and everything like that. So there are a few things that I wanted to talk about for the class as far as like what I found the most helpful and what I really got the most out of. And I think the first thing that I want to talk about, and excuse me for glancing down at my notes from time to time, is the reframing exercise, the unit on reframing, and just our perception enables us to like interact with other people, but it's able to change. And the whole concept of noetics, I kind of refer to them now as like my superhuman superpowers that have come about through experiences that I've been through. And before, I wouldn't have really paid attention to the fact that our minds are able to like kind of transform, evolve a little bit, like according to what we have been through. And I think that's kind of like where the transformation unit comes in, and the seeing with new eyes thing. And I know personally, whenever I had gone through my sudden experience, it was traumatic. That changed my kind of noetics. It was scary. It was terrifying. It was, I thought I was going to die. And so I went through a lot after that. But then I kind of realized, like, through taking this course, what doesn't kill you truly makes you stronger. But not only that, it makes you a better person and more able to relate to other humans. And so that's kind of, that section meant a lot to me. And like being able to give it a name, seeing with new eyes, and like you see more, your eyes are more open because of what you have been through directly. And it's like, you try to understand when you see people going through things, but you can't really 100% understand until you've been there. And so I think that's kind of like what that relates to. Another point I would really like to talk about that was really meaningful, and I'll try to hurry, I know I don't have much time left, is the unit when we studied the differences of the Schadenfreude and Mudita, which I probably butchered the pronunciation of those, I'm sorry. But it was really interesting to me, and it really has profoundly affected my life, and I practice trying to embrace mudita more every day. Because I had, at the beginning of this class, noticed that I would get into patterns of Schadenfreude and just be glad to see people like, oh, they're struggling, oh, they're going through this. And that's not a good way to be. That's not how I want to be. But I think it's like seeing those other people go through those things makes it easier to relate to them because you know what you've also been through. And so it kind of gives you like common ground. But instead, it's much easier and much more beneficial, and makes me a much more positive person overall to practice being grateful when people are succeeding and achieving. And that has really made me a better person, and it's made me like myself more. To just be like that person that's like, way to go, I'm in your corner, like, I am proud of you, like, I'm gonna cheer you on, like, you can do this, you've got this, like, and I'm going to watch you and be proud of you and like clap for you the whole way. And if you fall, I'll lend you a hand and help you up. And so that was really important to me, and I try to practice that every day in my life. And another thing I want to touch on really quickly is the vision board assignment that I've really loved. And I really, really think that the power of positive thinking is another thing that has been like really solidified in my mind since taking this class, and the manifestation of positive thoughts and just telling yourself that there's no limits to what you can do. Go ahead and make a board and tell yourself to reach for the sky, you know, put millions of dollars and mansions on it, and you might not ever get there, but at least you tried, you know, and you can say, well, I have some ambition. I've been ambitious, and you can't fault me for that. And I just want to say thank you. It's been a wonderful time, and although I do have a little bit of trouble sometimes relating to people and with relationships, with my vulnerability, I have learned a lot. And I would like to also really quickly touch on the Daring Greatly chapter on shame resilience. That chapter really meant a lot to me because it takes a little bit of life to become real. You don't really understand, and you're not maybe as empathetic as you might have been. But once you get a little bit of wear and tear on you, and you've been through some things, it makes you more understanding when you're real. You just want to be more real with people. So thank you very much. This has been a wonderful semester, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.